Hello and welcome to another Stupid Week, the show where we go over this week's major stories focusing on Israel, the Middle East, with the contempt it deserves. If you want to get all the updates every week, you can like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get a notification every single time we post a video. And on to our stories. First up, Bibi wants to cancel the citizenship of anyone who was caught working for an enemy country during wartime. But the good news for the people working in his office is that he means Iran. So everyone taking paychecks from Qatar, which is not an enemy country, can sleep easy. And remember, if you want to make money as an Israeli off of Iran, you should do it the way everyone else is doing it, by using classified information to bet on Polymarket. Last week, an Israeli military reservist and a civilian was indicted for allegedly using classified information and military secrets to bet on events on Polymarket. The suspects are accused of wagering on the timing of sensitive military actions like the attacks on Iran in June to make money, with one specific user, Rico Suave 666, reportedly making 150,000 profit by betting with suspicious accuracy on certain actions. Not so suave, Mr. Rico. And in anti-Semitism news, France is calling for the UN to fire Francesca Albanese, who is in charge of monitoring human rights in the Palestinian territories. And before we even continue with this story, you know it's going to be bad when it's too anti-Semitic for the French. Usually when the French are condemning anti-Semitism, it's to tell you you're doing it wrong. In this case, the French government was upset because they felt her recent comments that Israel was an enemy of humanity were inappropriate and crossed the line into anti-Semitism. And once again, I am asking, where exactly is that line? Because it feels like she crossed it a couple times. That's just the latest one, but that's France for you. So far, the UN hasn't made any move to remove her yet, since the rapporteurs are supposed to be independent, and nothing to me screams independence like speaking at an Al Jazeera forum in Doha. Personally, I wouldn't place any bets on Polymarket that Francesca is going to be fired anytime soon, especially for anti-Semitism. Probably because if they fired all the people at the UN who were anti-Semitic, there would be only one person, and he would be the lawyer trying to get everyone rehired because anti-Semitism. That end, earlier this week, the Secretary General of the United Nations congratulated Iran on the anniversary of their revolution that turned it into a theocratic extremist regime that discriminates against women and minorities, supports terrorism globally, and is developing a nuclear weapons program and ballistic missile program to wipe the Jewish state off the face of the earth. In a letter addressed to the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, no way I got that right, Guterres, the Secretary General, extended his warmest congratulations on the National Day of the Islamic Republic of Iran, describing such anniversaries as an opportunity to reflect on a country's path and contributions to the international community. Like Hezbollah? The UN, which is an organization that is allegedly dedicated to peace and human rights, congratulating one of the largest sponsors of global terrorism, is kind of like a domestic abuse forum congratulating Chris Brown for turning his life around and taking boxing lessons. You know, a few weeks ago, the Secretary General of the UN said the UN will run out of money by July and have to close their offices. And I have yet to hear the downside. And in a would-be anti-Semitism, if someone else was doing it news, a representative from the Prime Minister's office asked to remove the word massacre from the official name of the October 7th commemoration bill last week. Now, the supposed reason for the change is that the term events that they want to use, similar to the 1929 riots, should be used instead, claiming that memory builds resilience. And it was only a massacre, and it wasn't only a massacre, that there was also heroism on that day should be commemorated. Lots of people, though, are skeptical, though, that this is the real motivation for the removal of the word. And maybe, just maybe, it's another attempt to whitewash the record so that when history comes a-calling, they will not get blamed for one of the worst loss of human life in Jewish history since the Holocaust. Despite the PMO's request, the committee chair emphasized that there would be no cover-up and that the use of the word massacre will be reconsidered before the final vote. And there you have it, folks. When a member of this government says that there will be no cover-up, you can believe it. I just think it's a little bit weird that the government that has insisted up until now that they are not responsible for what happened on October 7th suddenly is very concerned with how we are going to remember it. It's almost as if they know that they are going to be held responsible one day. And finally, Bibi goes to Washington again. Netanyahu traveled on his shiny airplane for the 7th time to Washington, D.C. to visit President Trump to discuss the options for attacking Iran and its nuclear program. And there was no official readout from the meeting. There was no official joint statement after the meeting. And while Netanyahu expressed skepticism that the current track of negotiations will bear any fruit, Trump expressed optimism that a good deal with Iran is possible within the next month and warning Iran of traumatic consequences if they refuse. So the campaign stop that Netanyahu was hoping for in Washington probably didn't pay off like he thought it would, but he did not leave empty-handed, because after he returned from Washington, Donald Trump randomly and mysteriously decided that this was the time to attack President Herzog for not providing a full pardon to Netanyahu. It triggered a very rare instance where the Israeli president's office fired back at the White House. Of course, Netanyahu is insisting that he had absolutely nothing to do with the statement that suddenly came out of the White House after he visited. So to summarize Bibi's trip to Washington, no attack on Iran, yes, attack on the president of Israel. Isn't everything so great now? So those are our major stories from last week. Tune in next week where I'm sure everything will get better. And if not, try the week after that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video. And if I've earned your subscription, hit the subscribe button. And if I haven't, I will be back next week.